your host, Moose Juice. This is the first time I've actually appeared on camera. A lot of good and bad parts about Subnautica. The first part that really kind of stuck in my side was the controls were absolutely terrible. It tells you to use a controller, and when you try to use it, half the buttons don't do what they say they do. Remapping them doesn't help at all. But after a little research, I found that if you right-click Subnautica on Steam and choose to download the beta experimental version, the controls are fantastic at that point. What's nice about Subnautica is the fact that it completely immerses you in the world. You jump into the water, you think you're underwater, especially when you're on a raft, obviously. Swim around, there's fish everywhere, coral, pieces of the ship that exploded nearby. And from what I can tell, the point of the game is to go around and collect stuff, build stuff, and make a new base. Once you get over the control situation, you'll find that the game is actually rather easy to control. However, it doesn't give you much direction in what you're supposed to be doing. The heads-up display is pretty nice. It shows your life and your oxygen, your food and water levels while you're swimming around. They're kind of off in the bottom corner, which makes it a little hard to see, but you can still see it. On the other side, on the top rather, when something occurs of interest, it displays a message up there. You can't read it. It's too far out of the scope of vision, so it doesn't really help you any, which is unfortunate because I think that information is important so you know what's going on. Some examples of problems I had were I was trying to make additional storage containers, and the problem I was having was I'd make them and they would disappear. I had no idea where they went. I'm sure the heads-up display was trying to tell me what happened, but I couldn't read what it was saying. As it turns out, when your inventory is full, instead of not letting you make stuff, it lets you make it, and it stacks it behind items in your inventory, and you cannot access them until you make room in your inventory, and then they appear. It took me a very long time to figure out how to get my storage containers out so that I can put some items away. That's the bad. The good about this game is immersion, and you were just absolutely in love with the environment. The fish are bright and colorful. The plant life is just as colorful. The water from above looking down looks pretty realistic as far as it can be for a VR game. You start off in a little escape pod from a ship. Once you leave your pod, you can actually see the ship, and it is gigantic, and it is on fire, and it's not a good situation. At nighttime, there's a beautiful, beautiful moon, and it takes up half the sky, and it's just wonderful. From what I can gather, the aspects of the point of the game is to try to make a base, like I previously said. I'm having a hard time figuring out how to do that. Yes, I found some materials to gather. There's a lot of stuff that I couldn't gather. It wouldn't let me gather. Eventually I figured out how to make a knife, which allowed me to cut coral and other plants that I wasn't previously able to get. I have yet to figure out what to do with them. But during your gameplay you come across these boxes that look like safes, and once you make a scanner you can actually scan them and the plants and fish to learn more about them. But the scanning of the boxes provides you with new blueprints to make stuff. So that's how you progress in being able to make new things. The problem I have with that is that you don't even know that you need a scanner. You don't even know the scanner exists until you figure out how the clunky crafting system works. It seems pretty rudimentary at first, but it really takes a little bit of toying to figure out how it works, you know. The gameplay itself is very fun at first. It becomes a little bit drab, a little bit boring, a little bit lacking. You want more. I think there is more, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. I'm not so sure I'm patient enough to get to it. As much as I like the game, at the same time, I cannot get over this trickling down of minor improvements to your gameplay. And I can imagine it must take a very long time to get to the point where you can actually make some equipment of value, and especially make a base. Which is unfortunate because the game has a lot of potential. I would say, I believe it's in alpha right now. Actually, I'll check right now real quick while we're talking. Store page. Yeah, it is an early access game. And it looks like they are at least releasing things once a month or so for the game. It seemed like they could be at least significant improvements to the game, so I think that the game has given time the potential to be one of the best games I've ever played. But right now, not so much. I loved playing it, but I think I've gone as far as I care to go playing this game for now. Some of the things that are making me say that are, for example, one of the cool things you can do is you can actually dig in the sand. You can dig tunnels if you want. You can uncover areas. If there's sand in an area, you can push it and dig it out of the way. And I've dug several tunnels, and I was expecting to at some point come across something to mine, maybe some more copper ore or some titanium or something. And you can dig until your teeth turn blue. There's nothing down there. So it's a great mechanic, but there's no point to it other than it's cool to build a tunnel. They need to do something about that, and I'm sure they will. Outside of that, the graphics are really cool for the game, especially because you gotta have to keep in mind this is VR, this is new technology, and the graphics really do draw you in. I'm not saying it's lifelike, but it's realistic enough that you can easily forget that you're not playing a game, which is great. You have to catch your food. You have to go up and swim up to fish and grab them. There's also a fish you can grab that you can use to extract water for drinking. Some of the fish are kind of hard to catch, but I think that's actually a good thing. It's the challenge. It's the survival aspect. It's not supposed to be easy. It would be nice to at least come up with a way to catch fish besides having to swim up and grab them, which there may be in the game. Perhaps some kind of bait system so you can at least draw them closer. But really, they're not that bad to catch. But if your hunger meter's low and you're in trouble, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to get your food in time. However, when you die, at least on the normal survival mode, there's no real consequence to it. You still have everything you had in your inventory. There's no experience levels at all in this game. So really the only thing you lose is you're not where you were anymore, which kind of makes it a little empty. It makes sense if there was some kind of risk to the game. I think losing your inventory, or at least some of your inventory, would make some sense. There's some other kind of penalty for dying would be nice, because I was getting to the point where, well, I'll just swim as far as I can because it doesn't matter. And I can grab something higher level, more important, way out where, and then when the fish eats me, it doesn't matter because I'm back to where I started and I have the item. So I don't know how to solve that. I'm not saying that it's something that I think you should lose everything you have on you, because if it was a hardcore game, that's what it would be for sure, but I don't think that being as hardcore as that would draw in a lot of fans. To summarize the game, if you have a VR device, you need to play the game. It really is a good game. It really is a cool experience. I definitely recommend trying it. At the same time, they have a ways to go before this is a finished game, and as far as I can tell, they are working on it. So I look forward to what they do in the future. Well, this has been Moose Juice from Moose Nation. Thank you for watching.